Welcome. Rochelle called on the phone, and as is usual, I don't take a lot of information on the phone when I'm going to see a couple because I really want to hear it from both of you and with both of you in the room. But Rochelle told me that the marriage that you two have had for 8 years is really on the rocks. You haven't had intimacy in 2 years, and that you have very little in common at this point, and that she's about ready to call it quits and thinks you're probably not far behind her. Is that true?
I'm going to be very honest.
Please do. Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the whole process, but I came in. It's a final step for me. She talks about she's ready to walk out. I'm done. This is a final straw for me.
When I work with couples, I don't expect you to be happy right now. What I want to give you is some hope that there's a lot to learn about each other and a lot for you to learn about yourselves, and that at the end, I don't make anybody stay together. That's not what we're doing here. What I'm doing is I want to present the tools of how to have a successful relationship, because it sounds to me like that possibly has not been something that either of you have figured out in the relationship. And the 5 tools that I use are commitment, communication, conflict resolution, cherishing, and communion of spirit. The commitment to do whatever you need to do to figure out how to grow as a person and as a couple to have your relationship work. Communication is learning how to express love to each other, learning how to really understand how each other feels and what your needs are, and being able to hear that and to speak it effectively. And then conflict resolution has a lot of the things that you've heard about, not interrupt, don't yell, and all those kind of things. But it also has to do with recognizing if there's some hurts inside of yourself that get triggered by each other when you talk. Maybe your father yelled when you were little, and when Ray raises his voice, you just don't hear a word, and so nothing gets resolved, or vice versa. And then there's the cherishing. Most couples, I can't tell you, after 28 years as a therapist and 23 years in private practice, what I've found is that people stop expressing love and affection. And the research says that most divorces happen because people don't feel appreciated and acknowledged in their relationship. I think I recognize that in the two of you. And then finally, there's the communion of spirit, and that is the special bond that you build when you have integrity, trust, joy in your relationship, and you want to share it with other people, and you recognize a purpose that you have as a couple. I think right now you're both really hurting, and that's what I'm hearing. And I don't think that it has everything to do with each other. And that's what we need to figure.
Listening to you, I just... it puts me in a different frame of mind, but you're right. I came in very angry, and I don't want to be angry at her. Mm-hmm. But it just, the emotions are overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to hate you. I don't hate you, but I don't. But we get to a point where we can't even talk to each other.
Well, and that's what us therapists are about. If you weren't having any problems, you wouldn't be in here. But most couples, in fact, I would say 100% of couples at some point have breakdown in their relationship, and could use resources outside themselves to learn how to get along better. So what I'd like to know is, are you willing to give me a month? Are you willing to give me 4 sessions? 4 sessions to really look at what's been going on in this relationship, to find out if you really ought to dump it out, really ought to let it go, or if there's really something to save here. Are you willing?
I would be willing to try.
I'm in. If she's willing to work on it, I'm in.